Jayson Tatum does not play in Team USA's Olympic opener against Serbia. What? Let's talk about it right now on the Locked On Celtics podcast.
Thanks to Blockbuster Brand, it's holiday season, drop Jrue in the mix. And 3 from KP, no we not on the Knicks. Flushing competition like Al on Giannis. Juice and Big Deuce, still B-Town's finest. Banner 18 going up in the rafters. Watch the C's game in locked on after. Karalis on the breakdown, clutch like a tip from D. White on the breakdown. John on the mic, documenting domination. Matter pen a back bay, it's all C's nation. Rainer J's, how it started, raising banners, how we finish. Locked on Celtics pod, home of the winners. Peace.
Hey there, welcome back to the Locked On Celtics podcast, right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. I got you Monday through Friday this week. Next week, we're going down to 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Of course, if something comes up and we want to go or need to go a fourth or fifth day, we can do that because we make the rules. But August and September, we're going to drop it down to 3 shows a week as things slow down. It's still more podcasting than you're going to get anywhere else. So make sure you're subscribed. Watch a show on YouTube. Get into that comment section. Let me know what you think. I'm John Karalis. Used to play a long time ago. Now I'm a beat writer covering the Celtics for Boston Sports Journal. I've also written the book Built Different, commemorative book, lots of pictures, some words that I've written celebrating the Celtics' 18th championship. Today we're talking about the Team USA win over the Serbian team, 110-84. You say, oh, wow, this is great. You know, Derrick White played great. I thought Derrick White was a real difference maker in this game. Jrue Holiday chipped in with a nice game, 15 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. And Jayson Tatum's numbers were non-existent. He did not play. DNP, coach's decision. He was not sick, apparently. He was not hurt, apparently, although he did have a wrap on his finger, so it looked like maybe he was getting a day off just to rest or anything. Nope. According to Steve Kerr, this was just a Kevin Durant is back, and we are sliding him into the Jayson Tatum slot, and we're not changing any of our other rotations. We're not changing any of our other lineups. We're just going with KD in, Jayson Tatum out. He says it was for this game, and it's probably going to be different moving forward. We'll see about that. Coaches have lied about that before, so who knows? It's kind of funny. And like later on, we'll talk about Kevin Durant and LeBron James. And this Team USA experience is a little bit of a chance to dip into the other fandom, right? This is a chance to say, okay, let's see what it would be like to have LeBron on our team, right? Just for a couple of weeks. It's somebody on Twitter made a joke that I'm gonna steal and tweak, so it's not mine, but it's like you're getting a free trial to the LeBron James experience or the Anthony Edwards or Kevin Durant experience, and you're not going to renew. You just get a couple of weeks free trial. You're not going to renew it when it expires, and you just enjoy it while you have it. So that's basically what this is. And you get to just kind of like, oh, okay, this is what it's like to have a Coach Kerr kind of team. And I've heard Warriors fans be like, you know, sometimes this is not the type of coaching that we would expect. That maybe Kerr has been given a little bit of a pass because he's had Curry and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green, and they're just so good that they can get you past some of the other decisions. And he's just a lucky guy. Well, maybe there's some of that. You can't get this far, be this good without him being a good coach. But it is kind of interesting to say, oh, okay, Steve Kerr lineup questions. It's not just something that you hear Warriors fans complain about. Hey, by the way, today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. So Kerr says about Tatum's DNP, it's really hard in a 40-minute game to play more than 10 guys. And with Kevin coming back, I just went with combinations I felt would make the most sense. It seems crazy. I thought I was crazy when I looked at everything and determined these are the lineups. Okay. I will give him a little bit of a good point here. He had a good point. It's a 40-minute game, not 48. And with a 48-minute game, there's first of all 8 minutes there that Tatum could have easily gotten. And then because Tatum's in the game, you can kind of shave down some other rotations. And guys, LeBron only played 27 minutes. Booker only played 26. Those are your 2 high-minute guys. Holiday played 24. So it's not like everybody's playing 30-plus minutes. But you could have maybe said, okay, LeBron gets 25 and Booker gets 20, and that's another 8 minutes, and Tatum gets 16, which is in line with Durant had 17 minutes, Davis 19, Edwards 19, Derrick White had 16. So that would fall in line with that if you had 48 minutes. So fair point, fair enough. However, it's hard for me to kind of accept that with the starting lineup having its kind of struggles early on, that you can't find some way to use Jayson Tatum. And I will admit, the Celtics, Team USA won by 26. So there's not much to complain about. Whatever they did, it worked. They won extraordinarily easily. On the backs of Kevin Durant and LeBron James. I'll talk about them a little bit later. And if it's a blowout win, everything worked. What are you complaining about? But it could be more fluid. It could be better. There could be an easier start to these games. And I just find it difficult to believe that any team with a collection of talent like this can look at what the Celtics just did and say, you know what? We're not going to borrow from that. What's the number one thing that the USA team, what's their number one disadvantage? It's a lack of cohesion. And you make up for that lack of cohesion by having LeBron James and Kevin Durant and guys who can take over. And you make up for that by sheer talent. You don't need to play the way Serbia did for a good portion of the game. Like the 26-point blowout doesn't give Serbia the full credit. With Jokic on the floor, it was a much different game. When Jokic came off the floor, they're just not same people. Denver Nuggets fans, we've seen it. It's not a surprise that a team struggles with Jokic off the floor. But the cohesion that these other teams play with, is their strength. It's why they have a chance against the United States. So why not have stretches in the game where Tatum, White, and Holiday are on the floor together? You've got 3 guys who literally just won a championship. Put them on the floor with Anthony Davis and Bam Adebayo, the 2 elite rim protectors. Now you have the most incredible defensive lineup. Who is scoring against Tatum, Brown, White, Bam, and Anthony Davis? Nobody. You go on a 20-0 run just by your defense creating these opportunities. That is an impossible lineup to score against. Why don't you take advantage of that? The problem here, honestly, and it's going to sound very on brand for me, and it might sound like it's coming out of nowhere, but the problem is Joel Embiid. The problem is they're starting Joel Embiid, and he does not fit. A little bit of a problem beyond that, Devin Booker, who is just not. Now, he shot well. He hit 4 3-pointers in this game, but Embiid is the bigger problem. And I saw a conversation on Twitter about Embiid must have been made a promise. And I know I complained about Embiid in the first couple of exhibitions, and Philly fans jumped all over me saying, like, you don't know ball, and this is just a Boston guy. Like, everybody now, all the basketball people outside of Philadelphia fans are looking at this and saying, what the hell is Embiid doing on this team? What's he doing out there? He is not fitting. It's slow. It's disjointed. What they should do is start Bam Adebayo. I'm sorry, Anthony Davis, and sub in Bam Adebayo and Jayson Tatum. Like, Tatum and Bam should come in for Davis and LeBron, and KD can come in for Booker. And now you've got KD 3, Tatum 4, Bam 5, and that's still going to be pretty elite rim protection. But Embiid being there, it's just one guy, and this is where Kerr has the point. 40-minute game, and now you've promised, apparently, because that's how you lure Joel Embiid to Team USA versus France or whatever other team he was, could have played for. It seemed like he was eligible for all of them. With Embiid out there, Tatum now, those are Tatum's minutes, because those minutes now force you to play Bam off the bench and AD off the bench. And that just all could have gone to Tatum, and that could have changed all of the rotations. Hell, I would rather see Tatum at the 5 in some of these configurations, but they're not going to do that. Let me continue this. People might be just saying, great, Tatum can get some rest. That's fine, which is also a good point. And now I'll get into Derrick White and Jrue Holiday because they were just incredible. Derrick White especially. I'll do all of that here in just a second. Today's show is brought to you by Game Time. It's the place to go for last-minute tickets. You want Major League Baseball tickets? They're an authorized ticket marketplace of the MLB, but they've also got concerts, comedy, theater, all that stuff. Just go to the Game Time app, download that, create your account, use the code LOCKEDONNBA. You're going to get $20 off your first purchase. Why Game Time? You've got last-minute deals that save you up to 60% off on all of those tickets. If you're going to a Red Sox game, let's say, the closer you get to first pitch, those prices tend to go down. So go have a drink, relax, chill out, and buy your tickets before you pay your check. There are zone deals where you pick the section, they pick the seats, you save a little extra money that way. You toggle all in pricing, you get no surprise fees at checkout. You can get a panoramic view from your seat so you know what you're getting into. And their lowest price guarantee means if you find those same tickets in that same section and row for less, they'll credit you 110% of the difference. Again, download that Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONNBA. You get $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Create your account, redeem the code LOCKEDONNBA. You get $20 off at Game Time. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. Thank you for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Go check out Locked On NBA. I'm there with Jake Madison on Wednesdays. We're there 5 days a week all throughout the summer, so make sure you're checking that show out. Got the whole league covered, Team USA covered, anything NBA related covered, so check that out. Rotating hosts. It's a good show. It's also on YouTube, wherever you found this podcast. So Tatum got the DNP, and I don't know. To me, the final thing I'm going to say here is you have Embiid, who is slow and just clearly doesn't fit. It just does not work. I'm not taking away from Embiid. My feelings about Embiid are known. I'm not a fan, but I'm not so much of a hater that I can't acknowledge that he is an MVP level player. Like, I'm not going to say that he's not. It just doesn't fit. And I'm not alone in saying that. Booker is another guy that, questionable performances. Now, he did hit 4 3-pointers, and I tweeted out Booker's, something about Booker. And then he comes out and hits a 3, gets a steal, hits another 3, then hit a couple other 3s later on. Okay. I'm not saying, same thing with Booker. He's obviously an elite player. These are all elite players. But Tatum is a 6'10", versatile, two-way player who just spent an entire season drawing multiple defenders and making the right play. He is exactly what you want from a player on an international team like this. He can draw multiple players and make the right pass and make the right play. And credit to Tatum for being active on the bench. He's not just sitting there as a, moping or whatever. He's there. He's smiling. He's participating. And look, I can't wait to hear how this impacts him. And it's something that when training camp opens up, media day opens up, I can't wait to ask him, hey, you had that DNP in the Olympics. Now he's going to get that question and he's going to answer it, but then he's going to go off and do his thing. Now, I don't know how the rest of this is going to go. Maybe he plays a bunch and maybe he hits the game-winning shot to win a gold medal or whatever, and this doesn't apply. But if this continues or if his role is still minimized, I'll be very curious to see how a DNP in an all-star setting where Olympic gold is on the line, right off of you winning a championship, and you're the guy that gets DNP'd, how does that impact him? How does that he went into Olympic training camp saying, I haven't celebrated enough. I need to celebrate this championship more. And I wonder if the celebration kind of maybe took him away. Look, let's be honest here. Tatum hasn't exactly been tearing it up. And maybe that's part of what played into Steve Kerr's, hey, if I'm going to sit somebody like Tatum hasn't been, it's not like Tatum was a 20-point scorer. He's had his moments. He's got a few drives that were nice. He didn't hit a single three-pointer in any of the exhibition games. So, hey, you sat him, you put in Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant went off. So I can look at the other side's argument and be like, what are you complaining about? What can you possibly say about Tatum? Why should Tatum play? He wasn't tearing it up. Kevin Durant came in and did tear it up. One guy who wasn't playing particularly great sat. Another guy who came off of injury came in, and boom, they won by 26. What do you want? And it's hard for me to refute that point, right? It's hard for me to refute that point, except I know what Tatum's capable of, and I know what I see from the other guys. I'm not saying don't play Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's obviously one of the best ever of all time. So I'm not sitting there arguing against Kevin Durant. He should play. He should play more. But I am going to say that Embiid shouldn't play. I'm going to say that Booker shouldn't play, or at least not as much, that there are better options out there that fit better with what Team USA is trying to do, with how you win these games. But I am looking at Tatum, looking square at Tatum. And I'm going to ask, be like, you just won a championship. You're on top of the world. What are they going to say now? Well, you know what they said? They said, sit on the bench for game one. How do you feel about that? How did that motivate you? You went out and won a championship. You accomplished a goal. And you said, this is the one thing they can't take away from me. And it's true. But then they put you on a team with 11 of the best players in the NBA. And they said, you are sitting down. You are not. No. And again, this is only one game, so who knows how the rest of this goes. But if his role is minimized, does this fuel him? Does that bring him back? What does he do against Golden State when they play? Does he have 2 50-point games against Golden State? Does he go out there and say something to Steve Kerr? But I'm looking forward to that. Circling Golden State on the schedule. Let's see what you do. What are you going to say now, huh? This could be, if we want to spin it into more disrespect, us against the world, Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown, both two guys who proved something by winning a championship. These two guys can now look at Team USA, and Jaylen can be like, you didn't even put me on this team. I was conference finals and finals MVP, and you didn't put me on this team. And Tatum said, I was a champion. I got finals MVP votes, and you sat me down. Those two guys can turn around and say, okay, if that's how it's going to be, we're just going to have to win this damn championship again. And we're going to have to shove it in their face. You're going to say, Team USA didn't want us. They didn't want us to play. They didn't want us to be a part of it. Fine. We're just going to win another championship. And we're going to keep winning championships. We're going to keep doing the things that you can't stop. Motivation. I said going into this summer, What motivation are these guys going to have? Are they going to be able to come out of this summer with the focus after having accomplished something, and you get that like, yeah, I get to relax now. But each new season doesn't allow you to relax. And if you relax, maybe some things you don't have that little extra oomph to get to those things that place that you need to win again. Well, here we are. Jaylen, Jayson, motivation. It's right there for you. All right. Now I'll get into Derrick White and Jrue Holiday. We'll get into KD and LeBron. That's all coming up next. Hey, thanks for making Locked On Celtics your first listen every day. Go check out Locked On Sports today. It's streaming 24/7 on YouTube, on the free Amazon Fire TV channels app. It's all the big talk, and I'm going to be on there talking about Team USA. So make sure you check that out wherever on YouTube and on the free Amazon Fire TV channels app. Derrick White, I think I just said that Jaylen Brown can play the disrespect card. I said at the time, and I really believe now that Derrick White was the absolute choice, the better choice. Now, Jaylen probably should have been there instead of Devin Booker. But regardless, Derrick White was a perfect fit. He played 16 minutes, was incredible. 2 points, but 2 steals, a block, an assist, just 1 rebound, but major impact. These stats do not tell me any real story about the impact that Derrick White had. The 1 assist was, I think, and I don't have advanced stats on Team USA games like I do in the NBA, but secondary assists, potential assists, Derrick White was there. You know what Derrick White does so well, better than guys on Team USA? And there's a play that Anthony Edwards made where he had a turnover that highlights this so much. Derrick White is head on a swivel, eyes always up, scanning the floor, making the right read. He drives to make a read and make the right play. And his 1 assist was on a Kevin Durant 3. He had a secondary assist when he kicked it out to the corner. It was a swing to, I think it was Kevin Durant again, or it might have been Devin Booker. I forget. But it was a drive, swing, kick to the corner, swing out, and it was a 3. He makes these plays so naturally. He just knows how to play basketball, and he makes these reads. He might be the most intelligent guy on the floor outside of LeBron James. He is so smart. He sees the floor so well. He does not drive to get so deep. The Anthony Edwards play, a couple of plays after the drive and kick to Durant, same thing, down the left side of the floor. He gets into the middle of the lane and he just gets stripped. And it was so perfectly indicative of how these guys, these superstars, drive with the purpose of scoring. And only when their lane of scoring goes away do they say, oh, okay, now let me kick it. This is very much like the old Celtics, very much like the old Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum against Golden State. Drive to score, get caught too deep, turn the ball over, the ball goes the other way. And we kept saying at the time, you got to be able to make the right play. You got to be able to make the right read at the right time. Those rim reads, the reads in the middle of the lane are so important. It's the same concept. Basketball is basketball, and it's especially important in international play where there's no defensive 3-second call, and they can pack the paint. And these guys have not adjusted their game. Anthony Edwards, for all the talent and how great he is and how fun he is, and his personality is amazing. He's an absolute megastar, but his whole attitude of, hey, they still gotta fit around me. That was kind of said jokingly, but kind of said seriously. And it's clear that he believes that because he keeps getting himself into trouble. Now, he also gets to make amazing plays like that step through, the Jaylen Brown type of step through, up and under and steps through and hits that shot. amazing play. Anthony Edwards is capable of so much greatness, but he also gets himself into trouble. Now, this team, like, we talk about the Jayson Tatum DNP. You can sit, Jayson Tatum doesn't have to play for America to win gold. You can play him and sit LeBron, and they'll probably win gold, right? You can sit any one of these guys, and it won't matter so much because they're so good. The individual talent is so good. But Derrick White is so great. The ultimate glue guy. He is so great at seeing what the game needs and giving it. Jrue Holiday, same thing. The play where Steph Curry cuts baseline and Holiday sets a screen and two guys go with Curry. You take advantage of Curry's gravity. Holiday just bloop. Oh, I'm just going to cut right down to the basket. LeBron hits him with a laser beam. Holiday is literally under the basket with no one within 15 or 20 feet of him. He could have just played volleyball off of the backboard to pump up. He could have Moses Maloned his way to 5 offensive rebounds in that play if he wanted to, just to pump up his stats. But that layup, that was so smart. I'll give Steve Kerr the credit. Like, he understands. As much as I said, hey, why not play Tatum and Brown and Holiday together? Kerr understands that you kind of need to have one of White or Holiday on the floor at all times. Those guys are so good as connective tissue. You do need one of those guys on the floor kind of at all times. But I would still like to see those two and Tatum play together. Like, that would be amazing. Those guys, incredible. And again, I feel vindicated in my take that Derrick White, absolutely the perfect fit. No disrespect to Jaylen Brown, but Derrick White, these Olympics are another kind of example of Derrick White's incredible ability to play basketball. And thank you, Derrick, and thank you, Brad Stevens, for agreeing to this contract when you did, because, man, that, as if the finals and that playoff run wasn't enough, an international exhibition of what Derrick White means to any team. You can literally put him on any team, and he would be incredible connective tissue, incredibly important on both ends of the floor. That if he wasn't locked up, I would have been so afraid of him heading into free agency. But he wants to be in Boston. He talked to the Globe. He said he wanted to be in Boston. He's happy that they got the deal done early. So thank you very much. I am extraordinarily thrilled that whenever the breakup of the Celtics has to happen 2-3 years from now, whatever it is, whenever it is, I'm not trying to push that, but it's going to happen. Whenever that happens, keeping Tatum, Brown, and Derrick White is critical to a quick retooling and then figuring out where you go from there. And that's another conversation for another time. I'm going to say that probably a million more times between now and whenever that happens, but that's my take. And because I said I'm going to talk about Kevin Durant and LeBron James, I'm going to do that quickly here. It is amazing to watch those two. And like I said, enjoy your 2-week free trial of being a LeBron James and Kevin Durant fan. You can cancel that at the end of the 2 weeks and go back to saying, whatever you want to say. But for 2 weeks, while they're wearing the red, white, and blue, you get to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to appreciate these guys. KD, wow. To go 8 of 8, 21 points in the first half, incredible. He's literally never had a 20-point first half on perfect shooting ever in his life. And he did it here. That was incredible performance, incredible shooting display. Coming off an injury, just unbelievable. And LeBron out there just running past everybody and then bowling through people. Some poor guy took a charge on LeBron, and I mean, he had his chest caved in. That's tough. That's tough to get in there against a full speed LeBron James and take that kind of hit. LeBron had 21 points in 27 minutes, 9 of 13 shooting, 9 assists, 7 rebounds. He did have 6 turnovers. This is why Derrick White is so important. Durant, 23 points in 17 minutes, 8 of 9 shooting, 5 of 5 from 3. 3-pointers. What did I say last week when I talked about Team USA? You got to let it fly. Kevin Durant let it fly, and he hit 5 of 5. Take your 3-pointers. Take them. They will fall. 5 taken for Holiday. 5 for Booker. Go out there and take those 3. 7 3-point attempts for Curry. 3 for Edwards. They were 18 of 32. 56%. Take more 3-pointers. You're awesome at taking 3-pointers. Stop driving into the teeth of a bunch of bigs with no defensive 3-second call. Drive it and kick. Drive and kick. Don't drive it too deep and get into trouble. Drive and kick. These guys can all hit shots. Kevin Durant and their 3-point line is closer. Take those threes. KD, 5 of 5 from 3. Love to see it. More Mazzulla ball. The Celtics' influence on this American team is incredible, and Mazzulla ball is the way to make sure that KD and Durant and all of these guys are maximizing their potential. 110 points for Team USA. It could have been more. It could have been more. Go out there and take those threes. But watching LeBron and watching KD is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Now, if we can watch them with Jayson Tatum, it'd be even better. We'll see how it goes. They play South Sudan next. That should be an absolute bloodbath. I salute them for making Team USA work. That is a game where I think USA needs to throw a little hammer down, send a little bit of a message, be like, okay, the exhibitions, the friendlies as they were called, that was one thing. The Olympics are something different. That is on Wednesday at 3 p.m. I'll talk about that and whatever's relevant for the Thursday show. I will do, I think, a mailbag tomorrow. We'll see if anything else comes up, but mailbag is coming up. So make sure you send those questions in, johnkaralis.com/mailbag. Do that. If you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. And I would love it if you shared the podcast, tell your friends, tell everybody they should be listening to and watching the Locked On Celtics podcast right here on the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day.